Hey guys, what's up? Redactions here and welcome back to this brand new video. Today it's time for something new. I asked you guys over on Discord to send me any karting related questions. I will try to answer them as truthfully as I can. I might not know everything, but I'll give it my best shot. If you have another question that has not been answered in this video, feel free to join my Discord server. The link is in the pinned comment. But for now, let's start with the questions. So the first question is by Wesley Giele Karting. I have a technical question. What is the difference between all the OTK axles and when do I have to put another axle in my kart? Well, Wesley, the way axles work, well, it's setup related of course. Usually it goes, the less grip there is on track, the softer axle you put in. A soft axle will give you more grip at the rear, but at the cost of exit speed. Now for example, when it rains you want to stick in a softer axle, and when the track is very grippy you might want to consider putting in a hard axle. Well, this is just a very basic overview of how it works, but sometimes a soft axle can work in a dry and sometimes a hard axle can work in the wet as well. And also you have different lengths in the axle. For example, if you take the N axle, you have a standard length which is 1030mm, and you have a short axle which is 1000mm, so it's 3 cm shorter. And what this will do is it will make the rear end pick up more of course, and yeah, it will basically decrease a little bit of grip at the rear as well. In seniors we mostly run short N axles. And by the way, on screen right now you can find a graph which shows all the OTK axles and their hardness. Feel free to take a screenshot. Alright, next question from Rickert.
Hey Rickert, I'm gonna slaughter it, good?
How to go from oversteer to understeer? I've never felt understeer on my OTK 2021, so I don't know if I'm well balanced to get the optimal grip. Well, you can get a massive amount of understeer by turning around the top eccentric bush. I don't advise doing this however, just leave it standard, and well, if you have never felt understeer, why would you want it? And also, I barely touch the eccentric bushes on my OTK, so I think if you just leave it standard, that's fine.
Standard!
Next question by Philip. How do you maintain / clean your axle bearings? Well, that's a great question. Every once in a while you should take out your axle and take out your bearings. Once you've taken them out, I just like to spray them with WD-40, but be careful that you don't spray too much in there. And well, just grease them every once in a while with some special grease for bearings. James_S asks, what is the difference between a flat and a round OTK torsion bar? Well, again, an excellent question, James. Well, there are 3 round torsion bars. You have the gold one, the grey one and the chrome one. And for the flat torsion bar, which is the standard, there's only one option. But basically what the difference is if you mount the flat torsion bar in standard position, all 3 of the round bars will be harder. So the first step, which is a little bit harder, is the chrome one. Then again a little bit harder is the dark one, or the what's it called, the grey one. And then another step harder is the gold one, but usually they only use this in the wet. Victor asks, how can you see that your chassis is crooked? Well, first of all you should feel it. It should handle badly, and well, you can see if it's crooked by putting it on one of these straightening, I don't know what it's called, or you can use the sniper laser. But with the sniper lasers you can only really tell that it's crooked at the front. San asks, how to maximize tire life? Well, you can do a couple of things. You can try playing around with different types of rims, switch to magnesium rims instead of running aluminium, run as low as possible tire pressures, and just be smooth. Wout Melis 12 asks, how not to be slow? Well, I think that's a question all of us have, mate. Aaron Night Racing asks, how to start a karting YouTube channel? Well, it might sound easy, but yeah, the way I did it, I just took my camera to the kart track and the GoPro, and I just basically told the camera everything that I was doing and then uploaded that. Or maybe you can start with just uploading onboards with no commentary and stuff. Sometimes they get a lot of views as well. Alex54 asks, why in Europe the Minimax kart is on the small chassis, but then in the UK Minimax has the same chassis size as junior, senior, etc. Well, that's because the UK likes to do things their own way, especially in karting. Yeah, there are quite a few differences in UK karting and European karting. Why that is, I don't know. But yeah, I think, well, a few years ago we used to have like the middle-sized chassis that was in between a mini and a full-sized kart. That was a good concept. I think we should bring that back. Recharged V asks, is Rotax faster than IAMI? Well, it kind of depends on what championship, but if we take, for example, the European Championships, then yes, IAMI is faster by about a second, but that's all because of their tires. Redactions asks, how can you easily share and download GoPro and Micron data with and from others? Well, great question, and luckily one that today's sponsor can answer. LapSnap is a new and upcoming platform for karting, car racing and motorbike racing on which you can easily share GoPro and Micron data. but also download and review other people's data. You just set up your account with a few taps and boom, ready to share and download data. Here we can look at some data from Genk, and as you can see, you can literally see everything. The app is free to download on iOS and on Android, and if you use the link in the description, you can get 20% off of your first purchase. Alright, next question. Intrepid 2015 asks, why is OTK so fast? Well, I don't know why. That's of course the engineering magic that they do over in the factory in Italy. But from a driver's perspective, yeah, it's just easy, man. The thing is always on rails. You don't have to look for a setup. The car just wants to work with you, even like in the wet. It just feels so planted. The only thing that I don't like about it are the brakes. Then Victor back with another question. How do you know what camber caster settings to use on different tracks? Well, I only know it about OTK, and for that we have a very simple answer.
Standard.
You know what, I'm going to use this on any setup related question from now on. This kind of refers back to the previous question as well. Yeah, just a standard setup on OTK is already like godly. You only have to make very small adjustments. Creeper Omega asks, what do you think the future is for karting and especially combustion engines in karts? Is electric gonna take over in a decade? Well, honestly, I don't really know. Of course, I hope not. I hope the noisy speed machines will stay. But yeah, if electric takes over, yeah, so be it. I don't want it, but yeah, everything gets decided for us, right? We don't have a say in it. Natas asks, best chassis for road tax?
It's a stupid question.
Well, I think if you followed my channel, then you know the answer to that already. It's OTK. Just definitely OTK. Verstappen WDC 2021 asks, how to improve driving without being a championship / having people to race against? Well, that's difficult. I always say the more races you do, the better you get. Well, you can get better by just doing laps by yourself, but if you're not racing, you won't learn that aggressive mentality, like that full-on attacking the track. You don't learn that, you only learn that in races. So yeah, maybe find someone who is, well, similar to you, who wants to be your sparring partner. You can both improve, but yeah, doing races is definitely the best way to improve. T-Bug asks, do you prefer understeer or oversteer? Honestly, I don't know, it's both super annoying. Brian asks, what GoPro do you use and how do you mount it? Well, I use a GoPro Hero 8 and I put one of these sticky mounts on the side of my radiator, and well, it always works like that. And I also use 2 zip ties to secure it extra. Benjamin KJ asks, I've experienced the same problems as you regarding the new 2020 and late 2021 OTK frames. Our new 2022 have the batch code 86. Have you heard anything new about bad OTK frames? Yes, I have. But not about the 86 batch. Well, if you guys have followed the channel, then you know that my new 2022 LN kart was like the worst kart I've ever had, and that's just because there's some sort of production error in there. And so far I've only heard bad stuff about the 88 and 89 batched serial numbers. But yeah, nothing about the 86, but that could be a bad batch as well, I don't know. Yeah, OTK, well, yeah, they are making some mistakes this year. And well, it's kind of messing with some drivers. Then the 19th and final question by Intrepid 2015. What is the difference between all OTK rims? MXJ, MXC, MXQ and MXL? Well, the main difference is how much air volume they've got in there. And this will of course have different effects on the handling. For Rotax Senior, you pretty much only need MXJ and MXC, which are the standard rims, and well, the MXC rims, which are the most expensive ones. MXJ is a low volume rim, which means that the tire pressures will go up less when you're driving. These rims also give quite a lot more grip than the MXC ones, but they can also be a little bit inconsistent and the tires will wear out on them quicker. MXC rims are very consistent rims. They have a higher air volume, which means that the tire pressure will rise more when you drive on them. But yeah, for seniors, MXC is pretty much always the way to go, except for when it's cold, then I prefer MXJ. The MXQ and MXL ones I honestly don't know, because I don't use them and pretty much no one uses these. So guys, that concludes the questions. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful in any way, please consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons. Also, have a look at my other karting content on the screen right now. That was it for this video however, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.